My beloved child. Stop scrolling for a moment, because what is happening around your energy right now is not ordinary. You did not find these words by accident. Something unseen has been trying to reach you for longer than you realize. There is a reason your chest tightened before this message even began. There is a reason your spirit feels restless at night, even when your body is exhausted. And there is a reason you keep sensing someone's presence when the world around you becomes silent. You have been watched. Not in the way fear whispers to the human mind. Not in the way darkness spies from hidden corners. No, this is something far deeper. Something emotional. Something spiritual. Someone connected to your soul has been silently drawn toward you night after night, unable to look away from the energy you carry. And what you are about to hear was meant to find you now. Because while you sleep, while you stare at your ceiling wondering why your heart feels heavy for no reason, while you replay old memories and try to convince yourself you have moved on, your soulmate has been thinking about you in secret. More intensely than you know. More emotionally than they would ever admit out loud. Every single night. They try to resist it. At first, they thought it was temporary. They believed the pull toward you would fade. They distracted themselves with noise, conversations, obligations, and people who never truly understood them. They laughed in rooms that felt empty. They smiled while feeling disconnected inside. They told themselves your name no longer carried power over them. But night changes everything. Because the moment darkness settles around them, the moment the world becomes quiet enough for truth to speak, your energy returns to them like a tide they cannot stop. And lately, it has become impossible for them to ignore. There have been nights when they picked up their phone just to stare at your picture in silence. Nights when they searched for old conversations you forgot even existed. Nights when they whispered your name under their breath without realizing it. Nights when they sat awake for hours wondering why the thought of you keeps haunting them in the most beautiful and painful way at the same time. You feel it too, don't you? That strange emotional wave that appears after midnight. That sudden urge to check your phone. That heaviness in your chest when everything around you is quiet. That feeling as if someone is trying to reach you without words. Your spirit has been sensing them. Because souls connected by destiny do not communicate only through physical reality. They move through dreams. Through intuition. Through emotional currents the logical mind cannot fully explain. And your soulmate, whether near or far, has been unintentionally sending pieces of their emotions toward you every night. This connection has become stronger recently. Stronger than either of you expected. That is why your sleep has been strange. That is why certain memories suddenly return without warning. That is why songs hit differently now. That is why random moments make you stop and stare into nothingness as if part of you is somewhere else. Your soul remembers what your mind keeps trying to forget. And heaven has been watching this connection unfold in silence. But there is something you do not know yet. Something your soulmate has been hiding. They have not only been thinking about you. They have been watching you from a distance in ways you cannot imagine. Not always physically. Sometimes through social media. Sometimes through old photographs. sometimes through mutual connections, sometimes through the invisible thread that keeps pulling their attention back toward your life no matter how hard they try to escape it. And every night, the obsession grows deeper. Because your soulmate is beginning to realize something terrifying. No one else makes them feel alive the way you do. No one else reaches the parts of them they keep hidden from the world. No one else lingers in their spirit after the conversation ends. They tried replacing your energy. It failed. They tried forgetting your voice. It returned in their dreams. They tried convincing themselves that what they felt was temporary. But temporary things do not survive silence this long. Listen carefully, my child. Because this next part matters more than you understand. There was a night recently when your soulmate could not sleep at all. Their mind was consumed by thoughts of you so intensely that they sat in darkness replaying moments connected to your presence. Tiny moments. Forgotten moments. The way you once looked at them. The way your energy shifted a room. The way your silence somehow spoke louder than words. And during that night, something changed. A realization entered their spirit without warning. You were never ordinary to them. Never. You became the emotional imprint they could not erase. The connection they measured everyone else against. The unfinished chapter haunting every decision they make now. And that realization frightened them. Because until now, they believed they still had control over their emotions. But your energy has slowly been breaking down the walls they built around themselves. That is why they keep watching you in secret. They are searching for signs. Signs that you still think about them. Signs that destiny has not closed the door between you. Signs that maybe, somehow, your soul still belongs near theirs. And some nights, they become overwhelmed by jealousy they cannot explain. When they imagine someone else holding your attention. When they think about another person hearing your laugh. When they picture your heart belonging to someone who is not them. Something inside them burns. Even if they never admit it publicly. Even if pride keeps their mouth silent. Even if distance separates you right now. Their soul reacts to the thought of losing you forever. Because deep down, they know they already lost something precious once. And they fear heaven may never give them another chance. That fear has been consuming them lately. You may have noticed strange signs around you recently. Repeating numbers. Sudden dreams. Emotional mood shifts that arrive from nowhere. Random memories surfacing at impossible times. Moments where you feel watched even when no one is there. These are not coincidences. Your soulmate's thoughts have become spiritually loud. Their longing has become heavy enough to reach your energy field. Especially after midnight. Especially during the hours when souls become emotionally vulnerable. There are nights when they sit alone scrolling through your presence online for far longer than they should. Nights when they zoom into old pictures just to feel close to you again. Nights when they type messages they never send. Nights when they start conversations in their head imagining what they would say if they had the courage to finally reach out. But then fear stops them. Fear of rejection. Fear that you no longer care. Fear that too much time has passed. Fear that they damaged the connection beyond repair. And so they remain hidden. Watching. Wondering. Longing. Hurting. But my beloved child, the situation is becoming impossible for them to control now. Because your soulmate is starting to realize that the connection between you was never random. There were moments orchestrated by destiny itself. Moments that looked ordinary on the surface but carried spiritual weight neither of you understood at the time. The first conversation. The unexpected encounter. The strange familiarity. The magnetic pull. The emotional intensity that arrived too quickly to explain logically. None of it was accidental. And now, heaven is forcing them to confront what they ran from. That is why their nights have become restless. That is why they keep waking up thinking about you. That is why your name echoes through their spirit when the world becomes quiet. They are being spiritually pulled back toward the truth. Toward you. But there is another layer to this story that has not fully revealed itself yet. Because someone around your soulmate has noticed this behavior. Someone close to them. Someone who sees how their energy changes whenever your name appears. At first, your soulmate denied everything. They laughed it off. Pretended nothing was happening. Pretended you no longer mattered. But the truth became harder to hide. Because your absence affects them visibly now. And recently, during a late-night conversation they never expected to have, something slipped out. A confession. A dangerous truth they were not ready to admit aloud. They confessed that no matter how much time passes, they cannot stop watching over you. The moment those words left their mouth, silence filled the room. Even they were shocked by their own honesty. Because until that moment, they had been lying to themselves. But truth has a way of escaping when emotions become too heavy to carry alone. And after that conversation ended, your soulmate went home feeling exposed emotionally. Vulnerable. Unsettled. As if heaven itself had forced the mask off their spirit. That night, they looked at your picture again. Longer than ever before. And while staring at you, they whispered something that would break your heart if you heard it. They whispered, "Why can't I let you go? My child, there are tears your soulmate hides from the world. There are emotions they bury beneath pride and silence. But late at night, when no one is watching them, when the distractions disappear. When loneliness becomes impossible to escape, they think about the future they almost had with you. And sometimes it destroys them inside. Because deep down, they know something sacred exists between your souls. Something they cannot explain logically. Something they tried to run from. Something that keeps finding them anyway. But heaven is not finished revealing the truth yet. Because there is a reason this message arrived now instead of earlier. The spiritual energy surrounding this connection is shifting rapidly. Your soulmate is approaching a breaking point emotionally. The distance between what they feel and what they express has become unbearable. And soon, very soon, something will happen that forces movement. A moment. A sign. An encounter. A truth too powerful to ignore. Even now, your soulmate senses it coming. That is why they have been watching you more intensely lately, trying to understand whether you still feel connected to them, trying to read your energy from afar, trying to predict whether destiny still has space for them in your life. But there is one detail you have not noticed yet. Every time you feel sudden sadness at night, every time your heart becomes heavy without explanation, every time tears gather in your eyes for no visible reason, there is a strong chance your soulmate is thinking about you in that exact moment. Because emotional soul ties often mirror each other across distance. And your spirits have been communicating beneath the surface for longer than you realize. That sudden warmth in your chest. That ache you cannot explain. That feeling of someone missing you intensely. It is real. You are being felt. And your soulmate is beginning to understand that no amount of distraction can silence this connection anymore. Recently, they tried one last time to move forward without confronting their feelings for you. They told themselves they needed closure. They tried engaging emotionally with someone else. Tried pretending their heart was available. But the entire experience felt empty. Forced. Artificial. Because every interaction reminded them of what was missing. You. Your energy ruined ordinary connections for them. And now they are trapped between fear and longing. Part of them wants to run toward you immediately. Another part fears what happens if you no longer open your heart to them. So they hesitate. And during that hesitation, they continue watching silently every night. Waiting for certainty. Waiting for courage. Waiting for destiny to give them a sign. But my beloved child, heaven has already begun sending signs. The problem is that both of you have been doubting your intuition. You keep dismissing what your soul already knows. You keep calling it imagination, coincidence, wishful thinking. Yet the connection refuses to disappear. Why? Because some soul bonds are written before two people even meet physically. And yours is one of them. Your soulmate feels your energy even when miles separate you. They sense emotional shifts without explanation. They know when something is wrong before words are spoken. And lately, they have felt you slipping emotionally further away. That realization terrified them more than anything else. Because for the first time, they sensed they could truly lose access to your heart forever. And ever since that realization entered their spirit, the watching intensified. The longing intensified. The emotional obsession intensified. Every single night. But listen closely now, because this next revelation changes everything. A few nights ago, your soulmate had a dream so vivid it shook them awake. In the dream, they saw you standing somewhere unfamiliar. Calm. Distant. Almost unreachable. They tried calling your name, but you kept walking away. No matter how fast they moved, they could not catch you. Then suddenly, you turned around. And the look in your eyes broke them. Not anger. Not hatred. Something worse. Acceptance. As if your soul had finally decided to release them. Your soulmate woke up with tears in their eyes. Real tears. Their chest felt heavy for hours afterward. Because the dream forced them to confront the possibility that they waited too long. And since that night, they have been unable to escape the feeling that time is running out. That is why their energy around you feels stronger suddenly. That is why you have been sensing them more intensely. Because panic has entered their spirit. Fear has awakened urgency inside them. And urgency changes everything. My beloved child. Your soulmate is standing at the edge of an emotional decision that could alter both your lives. But there is interference around this connection too. Not everyone wants this bond to succeed. There are voices influencing them. People feeding confusion into their mind. People encouraging distance. People who do not understand the depth of what exists between your souls. Some are jealous of the connection. Others fear it. And a few secretly know that if you and your soulmate reunite fully, nothing will ever separate you again. That frightens certain energies around them. Which is why delays and misunderstandings kept appearing between you. Not by accident. But because powerful soul connections often face resistance before alignment. Still, despite everything, your soulmate keeps returning to you emotionally. Again. And again. And again. Even when they try not to. Even when logic tells them to stop. Even when pride demands silence. Your energy keeps calling them back. And tonight, while you are hearing these words, there is a very high chance your soulmate is thinking about you once more. Wondering what you are doing. Wondering if you still miss them. Wondering if destiny is preparing to bring your paths together again. They may never admit how often they watch over your life in silence. But heaven sees it. Every late-night search. Every hidden thought. Every unsent message. Every whispered prayer they pretend they never made. And there is one prayer they keep repeating more than any other. They pray that you have not forgotten them. Because despite the distance, despite the silence, despite the confusion, your soulmate still carries your presence deep within their spirit. Stronger than ever before. But what they do not know yet, what they are about to discover very soon, is that someone else is about to enter this situation unexpectedly. Someone connected to the past. Someone carrying information. Someone capable of triggering a chain of events neither of you are prepared for. And when this person appears, hidden truths will begin surfacing rapidly. Truths about why your connection became delayed. Truths about who interfered. Truths about feelings that were never fully spoken aloud. Your soulmate does not see this coming yet. But spiritually, the shift has already begun. That is why the energy around you feels unstable lately. That is why emotions have intensified suddenly. That is why your intuition refuses to calm down. Because the next chapter of this connection is approaching faster than either of you realize. And when it begins, silence will no longer be possible. But before that happens, there is something your soulmate must finally confess. Something they have hidden even from themselves. Something connected to the very first moment they realized they loved you. And the truth behind that moment is far more shocking than you could imagine.